First of all,
COVID conditions.
First of all, the point has to be made that this is not the first time that elements or higher ups in the Akufo-Addo Bawumia NPP government have told us that Ghana's economy is showing signs of recovery. This is not the first time. I hold in my hand a publication by the Business and Financial Times dated July 31st, 2023. 2023. And the headline is Economy Showing Signs of Recovery, Ken Ofori-Atta. In 2023, Akufo-Addo said the same things he's saying today. We are at the tail end of November of 2024. Few weeks to the end of the tenure of the second term of the NPP. And they are still saying the same thing, speaking the same grammar. Economy is showing signs of recovery. So the economy we started recovering in 2023, according to Ken Ofori-Atta and Akufo-Addo, never recovered. It is still showing signs of recovery. That should tell you that they are simply lying to the people of this country. I submit very forcefully that what we are seeing does not reflect an economy showing any significant signs of recovery.
Why is that?
And I'm going to demonstrate that to you. No significant signs of recovery. The chairman of the economic management team today is Alhaji Bawumia. And while in opposition, he told all of us that the most important economic metric for determining the health of any economy is what? The exchange rate. And that is why he made the infamous statement that if the fundamentals of your economy are weak, the exchange rate will expose you. In fact, when he won power, he told us that that statement was true then and it is true today. So if you want to see that Ghana's economy is recovering, Bawumia is telling you, he says, look at the exchange rate. You recall what he said? He says, when in doubt, look at what? The exchange rate. If you look at the exchange rate today, who in his right senses can say that this economy is showing signs of recovery? As for the economy rebounding to pre-pandemic levels, I don't even want to talk about it. It's an insult. It is a lie. And Professor Bobkin, who was my lecturer in financial management, has done justice to that. With credible data, I will not even belabor the point. I am submitting that even as we speak today, you can say that the economy is showing any significant signs of recovery because the exchange rate, which according to Bawumia is the most important metric, is at its unstable best. As at last week, the cedi had lost 29% of its value against the dollar in this year alone. As I speak to you, depreciation of the cedi against the dollar for 2024 alone is moving around 27-28%. Is that a sign of recovery? Or they don't understand the meaning of recovery? That word recovery, no, they don't understand it. Today, on the black market, if you go to a forex bureau, you need about 16.4, 16.5 to buy $1. The banks who are selling dollars at 15.8, 15.9, 16 cedis, they don't even have the dollars. There is shortage of dollars in the system. And you are talking about recovery. What recovery? That recovery can only be a figment of their own imagination. Do they know what this phenomenon of depreciation of the currency, this free fall of the cedi, do they know the debilitating impact it has had on businesses? Do they know the businesses that have lost their working capital because of this? In 2016, the businessman who needed $10,000 to import goods into the country needed only about 40,000 cedis, 42,000 cedis. Today, for the same amount, $10,000, you need more than 160,000 cedis. And you are telling us that the economy is showing signs of recovery. In your mind and in your pockets. But not in the lives of the ordinary Ghanaian and the businessman. Inflation. And this is where I will depart from my very revered lecturer. Inflation is also not showing any signs of recovery. Because you see, the most important thing to look out for me is the trajectory of inflation. And in the last 2 months, inflation has been on the upward trajectory. So I don't know what Nsafwa Poku was talking about when he said inflation has been coming down. Down where? Down where? In August of this year, the inflation rate was 20.4. I'm talking about the CPI. In September, it rose to 21.5. In October, it is 22.1. The producer price index, PPI, was 30.5 in September. In October, it is 33%. Is that downward trajectory of inflation?
You are the Ghana Central Service.
Yes, the publications are here. Let me read that to you so that everybody knows that.
This
is Reuters, published on 6th November this month. Ghana inflation rises for second month in October. You read the story, the figures I mentioned to you are there. The PPI story I read is a publication this week, 21st November, 2 days ago. Producer price inflation rate increases to 33.0. If you read it, it's a 2.5% jump. How is that? How does that reflect a downward trajectory of inflation? Okay. Then you look at the debts. You look at the Prof hit the nail right on his head when he spoke about the GRR, the Ghana reference rate. 28.84% for November. Today, for some facilities, banks are charging lending rates of 36%, 35%, 34%. Some facilities. And you call this a sign of recovery? Yes, I get a point Prof makes, okay? When he says that if you look at some of the economic metrics in 2022, for example, and you compare that to now, you can say that, no, there's been some relative improvements. I don't call those things improvements or signs of recovery. You know why? You see, you can describe them as signs of recovery if they are as a result of some prudent economic measures of the government. But if, listen...
The president talks about measures put in place by the central bank and so on.
What prudent measures? The only thing, the main factor accounting for that marginal relative improvement in some of the matrices, not all, because as I've shown you, the exchange rate is not doing any better. You understand? In 2022, the cedi depreciated by 54%. At this rate, we may cross 30% by December. You understand? Now, the reason for that relative, marginal, insignificant improvement in some of the metrics is because the government borrowed from individuals and institutions money that government is supposed to pay. I want to simplify it so that the ordinary man listening to us will understand. It is time for government to pay the money it borrowed. Akufo-Addo and Bawumia says, we don't have the money to pay. And they have expropriated $12 billion of monies lent to government by our creditors.
I said that's savings.
12 savings?
That's what the
you have stolen somebody's money. Somebody has loaned his money to you. It is time to pay. You are telling the person, I can't pay. You eat your coupon rate, I was supposed to pay this percent. I will give you a haircut and pay this. Your principal, I was supposed to pay it now. I will defer it for the next 15 years. Even if you die within that 15 years, I don't care. And because people don't have a choice, because government is not giving them a choice, they accept it. And somebody has died as a result. The owner of Kama Conference Center, is he not the dead man as we speak? So that money that they have deferred, who will take it? His ghost? That is a sign of recovery. So as a result of this, if you see some marginal, improvement in some of the metrics, you can't call them signs of recovery. Because if we were servicing our debt today, you would need more than 25 Ghana cedis to buy $1. Even with the dollar crossing 16 cedis, we are not servicing our debt. Our external debt obligation, we are not servicing it. How is that? It is artificial. This is not as a result of any prudent economic measures. It's like we came to meet this desk very clean. Then I come to muddy it. I come and put mud on it. And then you tell me that, look, you came to meet the table clean. Why have you put mud on it? Then I clean 50% of the mud on the table. And I say, clap for me, clap for me. This table has shown signs of recovery. Because there was mud on it, and I've cleaned 50% of the mud. So clap for me. Forgetting that when I came there, the table was squeaky clean. I placed the mud there. You caused this mess. So by expropriating $12 billion of people's money, people's hard-earned monies, including pensioners, some have developed heart diseases, high blood pressure, stroke. Others have died because you have taken their money. And you're here saying the economy is showing signs of recovery. I'm talking about in Safwa Poko. Look, and like Doc said, Prof said, the most important matrices, I have spoken about exchange rate. Another one is unemployment. With unemployment rate, have we seen any sign of recovery?
It's 14.7, eh?
That one was even 2 years ago. The current figures will be far higher. And according to the same Ghana Statistical Service,
I don't know that figure.
And the current, according to the Ghana Statistical Service, unemployment rate was 8.4% as at 2016.
Yeah.
Even if we are to go with the latest figures they published 2 years ago, it's 14.7.
Yeah.
So have we seen any improvements?
So what's the current one?
Far worse than the 14.7.
What is it?
Please, they have not published any latest figure. So we are working with the 14.7, which is far worse. Okay? Then, this is my brother from the NPP, who one moment pretends to be NPP, another moment he tries to run away from the NPP like a plague. He says he doesn't speak for Akufo-Addo, but you speak for who? You are a known card-bearing member of the NPP. You even contested to be flag bearer. You are the aide of Bawumia.
Yes, but
you are the aide of the man who has destroyed the economy.
No, but don't speak for the
You are the aide of the chairman of the economic management.
I am not the aide of Bawumia.
When you were talking,
I am not the aide of
I didn't heckle you once. If you heckle me, you won't talk here again. I beg you. If you heckle me, I will heckle you.
Don't give me position.
You are the aide. The flyer which was published says you are the aide of Bawumia.
No, I'm not.
Bawumia's boss is Akufo-Addo.
I'm not Bawumia.
The fact that you are even running away from Akufo-Addo like a plague shows that this government is a failure. Now, hold on. Everything you have said here betrays that. Let me make my point. Now, he comes and says that global factors. Professor Bobkin, the financial expert analyst in the studio, just told you, or you were not hearing, that Cote d'Ivoire, Benin, Togo. No, Professor, know what you said. They've all gone to the capital market to borrow. So why not Ghana? As for them, they are not in the globe. Cote d'Ivoire is not in the globe.
You want to respond?
It's a rhetorical question.
Oh, okay.
Togo is not in the globe. Their economy is not junk like yours. Their debt is not unsustainable like yours, even though the global factors affected all countries in the globe. To quote Bawumia in 2016, how did global factors jam Togo, Benin, Cote d'Ivoire only to destroy our economy? You people, you have no respect for Ghanaians, no consistency. In opposition, global factors could not have been a credible excuse for Bawumia. Today, that is your excuse. That is your whipping boy. No consistency. Hypocrisy at its apogee. You're here talking about global factors. Was Ghana the only country affected by COVID? How come that only we've been locked out of the capital market? Our credit rating is junk, baller status. Only we look at our economy today and compare us to our neighbors. Even next door Burkina Faso, which is being ruled by a military junta, is doing better than us. You're not ashamed. You're talking about global factors. Then my brother, he says that in spite of the challenges, they have performed better. Really? Or in every sector, they have performed better. Show me one sector that is better today than what President Mahama bequeathed to this government. One sector. He mentioned
the health sector.
Hold on. He mentioned
the health sector. I've given you one.
He mentioned
the health sector.
Growth under Mahama, even at this lowest point, was 3.4. 2023, end of year growth, it was what, 2.3. Look, he mentioned jobs. 2.9. Jobs, 8.4 under Mahama. Unemployment, today 14.7. Look, let me give you their own budget. Let's use their own budget to settle it. This is Appendix 1B. Appendix 1B of the 1C of the NPP's own 2024 budget. Their own budget. The latest one.
The budget that was presented by government.
Yes, on behalf of the president. Now listen to the figures so that this man will not repeat this anywhere. Industry. Very important to the growth of any emerging or developing country. 2016 under Mahama, 4.3% growth. 2021, negative 0.5. 2022, 0.9. 2023, the latest, negative 1.2. Industry is growing in the negatives. You are just saying you have done better in every sector.
But
let's go ahead.
Reference to the contribution of the one district, one factory, 100.
We didn't. That is the irony. So let's go to manufacturing. Hold on. Let's go to manufacturing. That does not. As you can lie with cheap sloganeering that you are doing 1D, 1F, but your own budget will expose you. Manufacturing. If you are doing 1D, 1F, listen, manufacturing. John Mahama, who didn't brag about 1D, 1F. Mr. Martin Bebu, growth rates for manufacturing sector 2016, their own budgets, everybody can go and read. 7.9%.
This is
Appendix 1C,
budget
2024, page 167. So manufacturing, 7.9% under John Mahama. Now let's go to Akufo-Addo. Alfred, you nearly made me lose my page.
Can I make a quick insertion?
You can't make any insertion here.
My brother hides away.
No, you can't make. Yeah, it's here. 7.9. Hold on.
Why he hides away?
Hold on. Let me make my point.
You know the unemployment.
If you keep on heckling me, I will heckle you.
I just checked. The unemployment rate for Ghana today is 3%.
You are just displaying ignorance. You don't know what you're talking about. You don't even know what you're talking about.
It's right here.
No, you don't even know what you're talking about. Let me make my point. Let me make my point.
Let me give it to you.
You had your time. I didn't interject. Let me make my point.
And I'll ask you the source.
No. You read it.
I'll ask you the source.
You don't even know what you're talking about.
He knows it.
I'm telling you,
unemployment has crossed 15%. He doesn't even know what you're talking about. 15%.
I'll ask you
the man knows it.
Let me make my point.
He skips it.
I'll ask you the
unemployment rate.
Hold on.
Initially, he said 3%.
Let me
Fitch
make
is
my
saying
point.
4%. I have other sources that come from Senegal that's 3%. So 4. Let's even take 4%. Let's even take 4%. Fitch Solution says 4%. Let's take 4%. Yes. Let's take 4%.
You are misreading it.
I am misreading it.
I take a strong exception to what Ensafwa is doing on this program.
What does he say? Fitch Solutions.
You see, he doesn't understand what he's even
read it out.
Yeah, he doesn't.
Read it out.
Alfred, listen.
I ask you a question. You skip it because you know what the truth is.
You only came here to make noise because you know that if you keep quiet for us to have an informed intellectual analysis, you'll be exposed.
Please go ahead.
Let me tell you, when I speak about unemployment rate, I talk about Ghana Statistical Service data.
Yeah.
Okay.
The figure he's quoting is World Bank data. His own employment minister, Ignatius Bafowo, has gone to Parliament. I can read a story to you to show why Ghana does not use World Bank unemployment data, because the World Bank definition of unemployment has to do with people 15 years and above searching for jobs and not getting. Ghana uses a more relaxed definition, which is 15 years and above. We don't take account of those searching for jobs and not getting. And so in Ghana, we use figures published by the Ghana Statistical Service. Do basic research before you argue.
But why
Let me go back to Appendix 1C. The 14.7 is Ghana Statistical Service.
15.7.
You're just making noise. You're comparing oranges with apples. I'm talking about Ghana Statistical Service. You're talking about a different matrix.
What you are referencing is the budget.
Appendix 1C, I've given you the industry growth figures. Manufacturing, 7.9 under John Mahama. Now they, apostles of 1D, 1F. Listen, 2022, manufacturing, negative 2.5. 2023, negative 1.0. This is, you have performed better. Construction, he mentioned rules. Let's go to the construction sector.
Questions. When I come,
it is a rhetorical question. Don't you know the meaning, the difference between a question requiring an answer and a rhetorical question? Construction, 2016, 8.4%. Read your own budget before you come and peddle falsehood on TV. 8.4% under John Mahama, the nation builder. Now let's look at construction under them, those who have built more roads than any government in history. They say 10,000 kilometers of road. 2019 construction sector, negative 4.4. 3.1 in 2020, 6.0 in 2021, 2022, negative 4.0. 2023, negative 5.0. John Mahama did 8.4 in 2016. You are not ashamed of yourself. You say you are. This is the better. Yeah. You, the first government in the history of Ghana to expropriate people's hard-earned monies that they lend to you through crude haircuts. You can't even service your debts. John Mahama bequeathed to you an economy that was rated B- by all the sovereign credit rating agencies. Today, your economy is rated baller, junk. You can't even go to the capital market that Kufuor took us there to borrow. John Mahama took us there to borrow. You can't go there. You have mouth to talk. You have killed people. By expropriating their monies, people are dying.
Yes.
And you have mouth to talk. You people don't have a conscience. You can't even show some modesty and humility in the midst of this failure. You are saying you've performed better, and then he talks about solutions. He talks about solutions. Listen, tell me one solution Bawumia has provided to the unemployment problem on our hands, which he created.
Okay, so
he's been launching.
So give me the floor,
my brother.
Oh, but you must tell you.
You must learn. You wanted to be a president with this attitude.
No, but give me the floor.
With this attitude, you wanted to be a president.
No. You see,
you don't even have self-control. You can't even wait for your time.
This is the rhetoric of.
You are being a nuisance on this show. Are you the only person on this show?
We are on the program.
Master, keep quiet and let me talk. Are you the only person on this show? When you were speaking, we all showed you respect. Show yourself some respect.
Make your point without rhetoric.
No, but the guy keeps on making questions.
Don't ask me.
This guy wanted to be president. What a shame.
Sammy, let's not bother on
I've never asked you a question.
Disrespect. Let's not bother on this.
No, you are disrespecting me. Because when you were speaking, I gave you respect. I listened to you in silence. You have done it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You want to reduce the program into a shouting match.
Let's not bother.
When Mr. Pebu was speaking, the same thing you did.
Make your point.
Look, he spoke about solutions. You have been in office for 8 years. Where were those solutions? That was what Bawumia said in 2016 to John Mahama. That if you knew how to manage, if Mahama knew how to manage the economy, where were all those ideas when he was in office for 8 years?
Say that again.
Yes, today you have also been in office for 8 years. So where were those bold solutions? You've been launched every problem, one app, one problem, one app. So where is the app for the depreciating cedi? Where is the app to fix the unemployment problem? Where is the solution? Apart from Bawumia dancing off beats to Owosisi has he announced even one problem as a solution to unemployment? Apart from me dancing off beats to Owosisi John Mahama's solution is 24-hour economy. He says he has not heard some. He mentioned 0. 24-hour economy. Even a kid in Ghana today knows it. John Mahama's solution to unemployment, Women's Development Bank, National Apprenticeship Program, Farmer Service Centers and farm banks to create jobs in the area of agric. Women's Development Bank to add 2 additional shifts to our work cycle to increase productivity and create decent jobs. Women's Bank to give low interest loans on very flexible terms to women to go into entrepreneurship. We've spoken about all this. You've not heard. The man who is rather dancing off beat to Sisifianibi. Or if he's not dancing to that, no, try and poor. That is your solution to the problems confronting us that God has blessed Bawumia and it is paining Ghanaians. So please, you have no solution. And in fact, if Bawumia had any solution, he would have implemented it. He's been chairman of the economic management team. He was the one who waxed lyrical about the economy at several lectures in opposition. He was given the chance. Akufo-Addo, his boss, told us that Bawumia's primary responsibility was to fix and stabilize the cedi. And that is why he says, cedi na hata. That's why I brought Bawumia, a man who once helped Kufuor to come and help me manage the currency. When Bawumia came into office, he was the one who adored the so-called solid economic management team. Professor Gyamfi, Akoto Ose, what a solid team. Today, he can't, the economy has even become haram for him. He can't even mention the economy because he has failed, totally run down the economy. Unemployment at an all-time high. Interest rates so high and unbearable. Today, Big Pen has left Ghana. Today, Nivea has left Ghana, that body cream. Dark and Lovely has left Ghana. Lipton Tea has left Ghana. Unilever's tea production plant has left Ghana. Glovo has left Ghana. Jumia Foods has left Ghana. Where are they going to? They are not going to America. They are going to Cote d'Ivoire and Nigeria. They are going to Togo. Why? Because of the high cost of doing business, which has become unbearable for businesses in this country. All these businesses have left Ghana. All of them. And there are more. Because of the unbearable, unprecedented high cost of doing businesses. Today, businesses are paying COVID-19 levy, Bola levy, all these levies, growth and sustainability levy. VAT has been increased under the man who promised us to move us from taxation to production. You think Ghanaians have short memories for them to buy into your so-called solutions when you don't have any credibility that can even ground these new promises you are giving? The man who promised us concrete roads and has not even delivered 1 kilometer of concrete road anywhere. We should believe in so-called bold solutions. Where were those bold solutions in the last 8 years? The man who promised the people of Cape Coast a new harbour and an airport, when his own boss says that promise was never even discussed by the party. You want us to believe this man who has proven to be a pathological liar bereft of credibility? Please, show us some respect. So in conclusion, in just 5 seconds. So in conclusion, yes, you can say, and I get Prof's drifts, and that in terms of some of the matrices, you can see improvement. But he always asks at a very expensive rate. You understand? And I am saying that my interpretation of that is no improvement at all, because we have lost far more than what we have gained relative to those few matrices. But in some of the matrices, there has not been any improvement at all. Okay. You understand? And things are getting worse, like unemployment. The exchange rate getting where today 15, 16, 17, 17.5, then 16 again. No business can plan.
The matter of the recovery.
No business can plan.
And Sammy, the domestic debt exchange program is one that the finance minister talked about gains, but savings that have been made, $12 billion for that matter. Now, at what cost did that come, especially to the Ghanaian people? Because he makes reference to sacrifices made. But what is the extent of the sacrifice that we're talking about?
Okay, thank you. So let me start this way. On 1st July 2022, when the president made a call, or Ghana reached out to the IMF, and they did their debt sustainability analysis, they concluded that we were in a debt distress category. If you look at our debt to GDP ratio in present value terms, I think
we'll open the slide right now.
Yeah, we're trending around 109%, when we're supposed to be around 55% as a medium debt carrying country. Now, to bring your debt from 109% of GDP in present value terms to 55% by 2028, you could not deliver on that solely by relying on fiscal consolidation measures, which has to do with a combination of taxes, higher taxes or revenue enhancement, and expenditure rationalization. Can we go back to... No. Okay, so the fund had determined that if we needed to restore debt sustainability through the traditional means, which we call fiscal consolidation, then the primary surplus that we needed to deliver on annual basis would actually be more than 8%, which means that the level of taxes we have to impose in this country, combined with the expenditure cut, nobody will be able to bear it. Okay, because even for some countries, it was even difficult for them delivering primary surplus of, let's say, 1.5%, let alone 8%, 12% or so. All right, so, okay, yeah, stay here. This is fine. So you can see the results of the debt sustainability analysis, right? December 2022 cutoff point, 109%. We needed to be at 55%. You can see it down there by 2028. Yeah. So the burden sharing that we preach has to do with the fact that if we had to restore debt sustainability using fiscal consolidation alone, this country would explode. So how do we share the burden? So fiscal consolidation through higher taxes. Higher taxes is one of the price when we say at what cost, because we've had to pay more taxes and all of that in order to have this recovery. And that would only bring the debt to GDP ratio in present value terms to about 81%. And we needed to do domestic debt exchange. And you know why that is important? Actually, from 2021, you will see that the domestic debt was actually imposing higher fiscal costs on the state compared to even external debt. So in the case of Ghana, and unlike Zambia, there was no way Ghana could restore debt sustainability by only restructuring our external debt.
Right.
Remember, that is not the first time we are restructuring our debt. Before 2022, we had restructured our debt about 6 times or so, 1966, 1968, 1970, 1972, and then even 2001, HIPIC was a form of debt restructuring. So, and all of these things were external debt. The reason we now had to restructure the domestic debt was that...
Which is unprecedented.
Which is unprecedented, is because if you look at our interest payment, more than 65% of the interest payment had to go to domestic debt alone. Okay, and our problem was more of a problem of liquidity, which is also then manifesting in solvency challenges. So there was no way Ghana could restore debt sustainability without restructuring the domestic debt. Okay, fine. To do so, right, we had recommended that we could have used granular data and exclude pensioners. Right. And in fact, and that wouldn't have caused so much harm to Ghanaians. We didn't do that. This one size fits all and all of that, I think is the error the NPP made, right? In terms of how the domestic debt exchange was applied. So in all, in cedis, we saved 61 billion cedis from the domestic debt.
In other words,
exchange.
the money we took from people.
Yes, I mean that's haircut. So if you see people walking with that part of their hair, it's in our fiscal books, right?
And that is a sign of recovery. We've taken people 61 billion cedis.
So those were the sacrifices that we needed to. In fact, the Bank of Ghana suffered the most. They suffered 50% haircut on principal, and that is how Bank of Ghana recorded one of the biggest losses in our history, right? That has rendered their balance sheet largely worthless, right? So look at it, and look. The Bank of Ghana is not just any other bank. It's the bank of last resort. In all instances, you do everything possible to preserve their balance sheet. So let me tell you what happened. When they were restructuring the debt with the IMF's own recommendation, the IMF decided that multilateral debt of almost $8.8 billion had to be excluded from the universe of eligible bonds, to be excluded, to be restructured. You know why? Because the IMF and the World Bank and the African consider themselves as international bank of last resort, and their balance sheet should not be impaired. Oh, but the Bank of Ghana, which is a bank of last resort here, could be messed up. This is what we've done. So as I said, look, we can learn the lessons from the past, but you see, like I said, this recovery is one of the most expensive, very pricey, and I hope that we will learn the lessons so that going forward we'll put in place the right measures to avoid this recurring. Remember, the way I see it, it will not be the last time we'll restructure our domestic debt.
Yes, because we can pay 2026, the new government can pay.
So, and that's why I'm saying that the way we discuss this, even from the NDC and all of them, I think let's have a certain perspective that these challenges, you can't wish them away. Regardless of whoever wins the election, a certain level of humility and adaptability will be very helpful in getting every Ghanaian on board. Because in terms of the reforms that we need to do, you need every Ghanaian largely on board. So let's not polarize the situation.
We're going to go for a quick break. When we're back, we'll have some reactions to this.
We'll talk about the
and
power
then
matter.
we'll be back shortly. Stay with us here on Key Point.